In this video, I'm going to talk about what a order block is and how there's many different ways you can use this ICT concept. But before we get into the video, if you'd like to engage with other traders, you can join my Discord, link in the description. It's totally free. So the first variation of the order block I'm going to talk about is the change in state of delivery. And I've actually made a video about this concept, so I would definitely recommend checking that out to get a more advanced explanation on this order block. So, a change in state of delivery. What is it? So, whenever price comes down and takes out sell side liquidity, we often have a down close candle close to taking out the sell side liquidity. So, right here we have two down close candles taking out the sell side liquidity. So, then we want to see a close above these two down close candles body. So, the highest opening of the body. And right here we see price closes above it and makes a retracement down into it. And there's also a balanced price range. So this change in state of delivery is our order block in this scenario. So then if you were to take a trade entry of this change in state of delivery, you could enter right at the body and put a stop loss at the low of the change in state of delivery and then target some buy side liquidity. So the next order block we're going to talk about is the continuation order block. The continuation order block happens in a bullish trend, and it is a down close candle within that bullish trend. So right here is an example. And as you see, price makes a lot of up close candles, expanding higher, and in the meantime we make a down close candle. So this down close candle right here, this down close candle is the continuation order block. So whenever price closes above it, as we see right here, we make the order block. So then we see price makes a retracement down into this order block. So if you were to take a trade entry on this continuation order block, you can enter right when you touch the opening of the body and put your stop loss at a place where you think this order block would probably be invalidated or the idea of higher prices would be invalidated. So in this case, we could put our stop loss maybe at this favela gap or something like that. And then we could use our standard deviation on this manipulation leg and then target -2 to -2.5. In this case, it makes a 2.2 risk reward ratio. So that is what a continuation order block is. So right here we see price has been on the buy side of the curve, going all the way up to a high time frame objective. So now we could anticipate sell side of the curve. So as we see, we have a continuation order block right here, which has supported price in going higher. So now when we have had a continuation block on the buy side of the curve supporting price, we could anticipate this order block on the sell side of the curve supporting price and going lower. So basically a inverse order block. So we see price closes below the close of the order block, but it doesn't make any retracement up into this order block. But over here of this continuation order block, we see price closes below it, and then we make a retracement up to it. So if you were to take a trade entry, you could short right when we touch the close of the order block and put your stop loss at a place where you think the idea of this order block would be invalidated. And I'm just going to put it safe and put it up here. And then we could target these lows down here or these lows all the way down here, which would make a 2.5 risk reward ratio. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the mean threshold of an order block. So the mean threshold is basically the 0.5 range of the order block. So as you see right here, we have used our Fibonacci tool on the order block, and the 0.5 range of this order block is the mean threshold. And we see how price makes a clean mohawk through the mean threshold and then get a solid reaction to the upside, taking out internal range liquidity. So if you were to take a trade entry at the mean threshold, you could enter right here when we touch it and put your stop loss maybe at the low of the order block or just a place where you think the order block would be invalidated. In this case, I think if price were to go all the way down right here, the order block would probably be closed below. So then we would target internal range liquidity, but that would only make a 1.55 risk reward ratio. So in that case, I have to put a more strict stop loss and put my stop loss maybe at the low of the order block and hope that the order block wouldn't get invalidated. So in that case, we'll make a 2.9 risk reward ratio. Next, I'm going to talk about what a propulsion block is. So a propulsion block is a order block that don't get traded back to the mean threshold. So as we see right here, price created a order block, and then we create a new order block up here that fails to close or touch the mean threshold of this current order block. So now this order block up here is our propulsion block, and we don't want to see the mean threshold get touched on this propulsion block, but of course we can make a small mohawk through it or the bodies can respect it. So whenever we see price makes a propulsion block, we could take a trade entry right when we touch the top of the propulsion block and put our stop loss right under the mean threshold, as that if price touches the mean threshold, it would most likely invalidate the idea of the propulsion block. And then we would target buy side liquidity up here, and that will make a 5.6 risk reward ratio. So basically, a propulsion block is a order block that don't get traded back to, and then that current order block is our propulsion block or propulsion candle. And then we don't want to see the mean threshold of that propulsion block get traded back to. So there are some important things that we want to be looking for when we look for a continuation order block. So that first of all, that is a fair value gap within the continuation order block. And when we see that, it validates the continuation order block. So in that case, we could short right when we touch the continuation order block and put our stop loss at this high and target liquidity or the standard deviations from on this manipulation leg, which aligns with the -2 to -2.5 right here. So that's some of the important things that I want to be looking for when looking for a continuation order block. So that was it for this video on order blocks, and I hope you liked it. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. And if there's anything you didn't understand, or if there's any ICT concept that you want to learn more about, or if there's any questions, just comment down below. And as I said in the start of the video, if you'd like to engage with other traders, you can join my Discord, link in the description. It's totally free.